Good morning, folks. Oh, that music is so loud. Let's turn it down. Shh. It's lovely music, but I know you can't hear me if I try to speak while it's playing. So we're going to turn it off. Good to see you all this morning. It is 9 o'clock here where I sit. And you know what the other time is? It's time for a haircut. Would you look at this? Oh my gosh. Ah! All right, I think it's going to happen today. I think I'm going to get a haircut at home. Not going to go out for my haircut yet. Just not going to do it. But I am going to get a haircut at home so that I can feel refreshed and sparkling for you next week as this week draws to an end. So, what are we doing today here on the Batdorf live presentation at 9 o'clock in the morning, Pacific time, noon Eastern time? Well, I will tell you, I spent the last couple days obviously working with Bob on presenting a new coffee that's coming out next Monday, which you can go back and look at yesterday's show. It's a Geisha variety from Colombia, which will be released on Monday, and we'll be talking about it more next week, and we'll do some more brewing techniques around it for next week so that you can try this limited time single origin coffee from Colombia. That's going to be a Voyager coffee, what we call Voyager coffees. But as I was preparing to do that show and talk about those things with Bob and Ryan yesterday, I just took a look back, and you might have seen me comment if you watched yesterday. I took a look back at our catalog that's live right now, the coffees that are available. And we're always bringing in new coffee, and we want you to try those. But I was just kind of blown away by how the catalog looks right now. Really just wide variety of coffees, right? We have our Nori Kori from Papua New Guinea, along with our Sumatra, which we had tasted last week as well. So it's nice to have two coffees from that region on offer right now. And I know Bob's looking for more. We have several African coffees, which are fantastic. Our Wash Guji from Ethiopia, as well as Burundi, so great. And then our Latin American coffees are really strong, as they always are. So it was just really nice to look back at the full catalog as we're kind of focusing on a new coffee coming up. And I realized the last time we'd taken a look at this Guatemalan coffee that I'm going to be working on today was actually quite a while ago. It was months ago, and we still have this coffee. It's only been a couple months. We have it on offer, and I just wanted to focus a little bit on it. It is the organic fair trade Guatemala El Volcan. All right, so I'm pulling it up so you can see where it is on our website, and we'll talk a little bit more about it as we go through this brewing technique today. So the brewing technique today is going to be a V60. But I do want to, before we get into that, I want to discuss a little bit about what we're looking at for this coffee here. So we always talk a little bit about what we call the cupping characteristics, the tasting notes. So on this coffee, when you go into our stores or if you buy it online, you'll see that we call out some things. We call out caramel, milk chocolate, hazelnut, pretty kind of classic elements of a Guatemalan coffee, right? Really lovely, nice body balance with those. There is also a little orange zest that we see in this coffee, which helps to balance out the body, right? That a little bit of that brightness and a little bit of that tartness from the zest quality gives a nice counterpoint to that roasted nut, milk chocolate, and caramel qualities of the coffee. So really a great example of what a Guatemalan coffee can bring to the table, no pun intended. The flower here, well, I'll be honest with you, we don't call out floral notes in this coffee, but this was in my garden. And I just wanted to bring it in because look how beautiful it is. That camera doesn't really capture it as well, I think, as this one. Let me see if we can. Oh, look at that. Oh, gosh. Beautiful rose. I love it. And it does smell amazing. Actually, I can make a case for this particular type of rose bringing in qualities. It's a little bit more vanilla essence to it. Anyway, I just had to do it because it was beautiful, and I was outside this morning and I saw it, and I thought, why not? So that is the coffee. You indulge me. I appreciate it. So let's talk a little bit about the coffee as we prep to do this demo. So the coffee El Volcan. And if you go on to the web page, I'll always remind you to open up that detailed coffee report you see right there. I have it ready here in another page. So the El Volcan is a co-op coffee. So what does that mean? So it means that there's a nonprofit that helps create sustainable businesses in Guatemala, and they helped to create this specific coffee. It works with 1,900 very small producers. Just to get an idea, 1,900 member co-ops, and the producers we're not talking about a whole lot of land, right? When we're talking about the work that they're doing, a hectare, maybe less, of land that the member producers have. Think about it. What a hectare is, it's about it's a little over 2 acres, right? So not a lot of land that that these people are working with, and the coffee that they're bringing to the market maybe between 2 and 10 bags of cherry in a given year. So small producers, small holders, and as we've talked about before, often farmers in Latin America will have multiple things on their land, of which coffee is one. The goal for producing or creating the cooperative is to be able to bring agronomy practices, best practices to the members so that they can go down and then, even more importantly, have access to international markets for that coffee. So that's really the key. They are able to produce get into the network for buyers like Batdorf and Bronson, who want to obviously support those communities who are producing this coffee, and then they help the coffee quality, of course, come up a little bit through both working directly with members, but also then through helping them get to washing mills and processing areas, again, to really stay in the loop of those best practices so that we can get the cup characteristics that we're looking for in offering the coffee. So it's a great example of us being able to go out, have a relationship with an organization now like Asphalt Guate, which is formed again by the nonprofit TechnoServe, and to have that relationship so that we can be able to serve this coffee not just with the confidence of what it brings to the cup, but also knowing that we are working directly with a co-op of farmers who are seeing direct material benefit, both through working through the cooperative and then getting the highest possible price point for what they're producing. So we're really happy to be able to do that and then come back here and share that coffee with you. So by all means, we're putting a link up into the comments here so that you can go to the website and try the coffee, the El Volcan Fair Trade Organic Coffee. Now, what are we going to do for our technique today? So you'll see I have my V60 here. What are we going to need for producing with the V60? I want to let you know that I'm going to be doing a kind of a modification of what I usually do with the V60, and I learned from a video by James Hoffman. And I will pop back up another monitor here just to let you know who James Hoffman is. A great guy, leader in the coffee community. If you want to learn more about his technique, by all means, I'm just listening to others who come before and who know more, and so James is one of those people. Just want to call that out for sure. So this is a kind of a modification of a video he has for using V60. And remember, anything that we're doing here when we're talking with our customers is helping to take what we learn, what's out there in the community of coffee professionals, and make it more accessible to you. So hopefully this is good for you, just like it's good for me, right? So the same things are going to be absolutely the same. I am going to want to bring my water over, and I'm going to pre-wet the filter and the vessel for the coffee as well. But when I'm doing that, I'm going to double check to make sure that we have a good shot of the coffee brewing when it comes time to brew, right? All right, that's pretty good. Sweet. So I'll go ahead and pre-wet that with my kettle. Now, something to note about the V60, that it has the shape that you might recognize from the Chemex, right? That means it's a cone. Unlike some other types of pour-over brewers that use paper filters, it does not have a box bottom or any place where that might lead to the coffee being held or not being evenly extracted. So, which is not in any way to say that we do not have techniques and abilities to work with those other types of pour-over shapes, but you'll just notice, I mean, it's a pure cone, right? And then also, unlike some of the other pour-over methods, there aren't really any holes in the bottom that restrict the flow of coffee coming through. See in the bottom of this liter here, right? You can see that there's these little holes. Oh, Joshua needs to do a better job of cleaning out his ceramics. Great. Next week we'll do coffee cleaning again. That's another video I saw that I did a couple times a couple months ago that we haven't hit again. So we'll do another quick overview of cleaning your coffee equipment. It's okay. It's live. It's good. All right. So we're going to add coffee now. I'm going to tear out my scale. And I think the producers will also make sure to throw in a link for the V60 unit, which you can get on our website, and also scales as well. We talk about these things continually and unique. So in goes my coffee. I'm just going to level it out a little bit. I'm going to make a little bit of a divot in the center with my finger there. Okay. All right. So it's just shy. It is 30. It says 29. So I lost a little bit there in transfer. Zero it out. So what I'm going to do, as you've seen us do before, is I'm going to kind of pre-wet the grounds and do this thing that's called blooming, right? So I'm going to add an amount of water that's just right at double the amount of grounds. So I add 30 grounds. I'm going to add 30 grams of coffee. I'm going to add 60 grams of water. And I'm going to start the timer at the same time. So the way, I'm just going to explain it really quick, this is going to work is we're going to add water in order to bloom the coffee and to saturate it. And there's going to be like kind of a pause. We'll do a little bit of a swirl like you've seen us do before. Then we're going to add more water to about 60% of the total water needed. And then we're going to pause again with a gentle stir to agitate that water. Not agitate the water, but to actually bring grounds away from the outside of the filter. It's already been agitated by the pour of that 60% of the water needed. And then we're going to slowly add the balance of water up to 500 grams total. And then at 500 grams, we'll swirl again. So it's kind of a breathing process, right? We add water and pause, and add water and pause, and add water again. Not all in equal amounts of time or equal measurements, but growing a little bit each time until that last phase. So we have our scale here. I'm going to add water to just at 60 grams. A little bit over, but that's fine. Do some swirling. Okay. 30 seconds now. I'm going to get all the way up to 300. At just about 1:15. Don't want to get it swirling too much. And now, pouring very gently, all the way up to 500. When I get to 2 minutes. Trying to watch 2 clocks upside down and not read the numbers backwards in my brain. So we added that first amount pretty quickly, right? And this last amount much more slowly. Okay, so we're at 500. And then we'll do our last swirl, right? And remember what that swirling is doing is it's drawing coffee down from the bed. And it's making it so we'll get hopefully a flat bed at the bottom. Now I can tell you right off the bat something I know that has occurred here is, a 3-minute drawdown is okay. We'll see how it tastes. But I'm looking at the bed of coffee and it looks like it just ground far too coarse, right, for that drawdown. So this is why we do this. Now what I'll do, and if I had my grinder down, I probably would hijack you all for the next 6 minutes and we do it again. I would adjust my grind, right, rather than attempt to rather than attempt to change the pour rate, I'm going to stick with that, with the pour rate, etc., etc. But I am going to try and adjust my grind in order to slow the drawdown considerably. And this is the classic situation of me having come into the production area without a mug. So how are we going to do this, folks? I have lots of different things to put coffee in. Here we go. Do you like this? Is that good? Yes, in answer to Brendan's question, I would make the coffee a little more fine, and I'll show you. Let's take a look at, see how large the particle size is, and just by the pour through time. And I didn't stop it, but we were just at a little bit over 3 minutes when we got to the final extraction. So I'm thinking that it probably didn't extract ideally. It is a nice flat bed, right? And you'll see that there's still some remainder of grounds along the side here, right? You're not going to be able to get all of those, but in general, we have a really flat bed of coffee at the bottom. I just think it probably expressed through a little quicker than I would want it to. Okay. So I'm going to drink right out of this. You can all laugh. It's fine. You can laugh at me. It's fine. All right. Okay, so. Oh, well, it smells great. Yeah, just a little astringent. So, great, no worries. This is what we do. We work on something that's a new technique, and we fine tune it. So I'm going to make the grounds a little bit more fine. I'm probably also going to back down my total amount. I'll keep the ratio the same. It's about a 1 to 16, but I'll just use less coffee to start with, right? And I'll make a little less coffee. So that's what I'm going to do with this technique. Listen, we do this here for you, our friends out there who may not have tried using one of these pour-over methods before, so that you feel comfortable going out there and trying it, right? Look at me. I am a coffee professional. I work in this industry, and I'm always learning new things, and I'm trying them. And I'm not trying to put myself off as an absolute expert, right? I know quite a bit about coffee. I don't know as much as James Hoffman. I don't know as much as many of the folks I work with, right? But I continually am trying to learn more and do better. And we hope that you feel the same way, right? Our goal really is to have a relationship, much as we're trying to have a relationship of equity with our farmer producers, we're trying to have a relationship with our customers who, we want you to buy this coffee and enjoy it at home and have as much love and sense for adventure and experimentation with it as we do, right? And that necessarily means that we're going to make mistakes along the way. It's built into the process of being human, right? So different. We learn little things as we move forward, and when we get to grow from them. So the key thing is having the tools, right? We talked about this already. Obviously, you have your great coffee to start with. A grinder at home helps, a scale, and then the brewing tools. So we have links for all those things, and I want to remind you that you can always use, because you're here using or spending time with us here watching these live videos, we want to remind you that we have a Watch and Learn 10 code that you can use when you go online. If you want to try out the El Volcan, which is this fair trade Guatemalan coffee, if you want to get a V60 and start learning how to make V60 pour over coffee at home, hopefully learning a little something from these videos, but also learning just by experimenting in your own household. Because here's another thing, I don't have your palate. You do, and you know what you like. But we are here to help get you into hopefully the right area to move forward and learn more, and then answer questions, and then experiment along with you as we keep learning how to turn our homes into cafes. Be well. Have a great Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I won't see you tomorrow, but you'll be with Ben in the coffee workshop. I don't know what he's going to do, but I'm excited because it's always fun. So tune in here tomorrow at 9 with Ben. And then we'll be back here again with a full week of morning, afternoon programming for you. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment bar here. I might just pop into the comment bar. For us to compare your hair. Okay, yeah. All right, you want to see what the hair looks like. All right, fine. I was going to do this yesterday, but I didn't want to, make Bob and Ryan feel strange. Here it is. All right, and now I can put my hands in my hair. I'd never do this in the coffee shop setting because we don't touch our faces or our hair. There it is. Are you happy? That's why I have to get a haircut. That's why I wear hats. Listen, I'll stop wearing hats next week because I am going to get a haircut. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.